Welcome to Sukkos Before Sukkos, Part 1. We begin the Masechta Sukkah, which deals with the mitzvah of sitting in the Sukkah, the mitzvah of benching a lulav and the esrog, and other related things to do with the festival of Sukkos. We begin Perek Aleph, Mishnah Aleph, Chapter 1, Mishnah 1. Says the Mishnah, Sukkah shehi gavoya l'mayla me'esrim amah, a sukkah that is higher than 20 cubits, 20 amos, which is about 10 meters, psula is invalid, according to the first opinion, because the main part of the sukkah is the schach, the covering, and if it's so high, it's hard to notice, and it becomes more like a permanent structure, where the definition of a sukkah is a temporary structure. So therefore it's invalid according to the Tanakama, according to the first opinion. Rabbi Yehuda says, no, it's fine, it's kosher. How about if a sukkah is not the minimum height of 10 tvachim, which is about 80 centimeters, or if a sukkah doesn't have 3 walls, or the sun is more than the shade, in other words, the schach, the covering is too sparse and therefore generates more sun than shade. All these cases, psula, the sukkah is invalid. A sukkah must be a minimum of 10 tvachim high. It must have at least 3 walls, or like the Gemara explains, 2 walls and a bit, depending on the measurements. And it must have enough schach to be more shade than sun, otherwise it is an invalid sukkah. Sukkah yeshana, an old sukkah, continues the Mishnah, which the Mishnah will soon define what that means. Beis Shammai poislin, Beis Shammai invalidate an old sukkah, Beis Hillel machshirin, Beis Hillel say it's kosher. Sukkah yeshana, what is an old sukkah? Kol she'asor koydem l'chag shloshim yom. An old sukkah is if you made the sukkah. Making the sukkah means to cover the top of the sukkah with schach. That's what making the sukkah means. If you did that more than 30 days before Sukkot, then according to Beis Shammai, it is invalid. But that means that if you covered it not specifically for the mitzvah of Sukkah, you just covered it because you wanted a covering, you wanted a shade, you wanted a pagoda of some sort. But if you covered the schach, if you covered the sukkah with schach 30 days, even more than 30 days before, but you did it specifically for the mitzvah of Sukkot, then afilu mitchilas hashana, even from the beginning of the year, even way before Sukkot, ksheira, it is considered kosher. Mishnah Beis. If someone makes a sukkah under a tree, it is as if he has made the sukkah in the house and it's invalid. Because a sukkah means it's covered with schach, which doesn't have anything else over the schach. You sit under the schach, and the schach is under the heavens. And therefore it's invalid if you make a sukkah under a tree. Sukkah al gabe sukkah, a sukkah on top of another sukkah. Well, the top sukkah is kosher, the lower one is invalid because the lower one has another sukkah on top of it. Rabbi Yehuda says, Rabbi Yehuda says, qualifies, and he says, if the top sukkah is unfit to be lived in because the schach on the bottom sukkah is too weak, and therefore you cannot actually sit in the top sukkah, in such a case, the bottom sukkah would be kosher because it's as if the top sukkah is not there. Mishnah Gimel, the third Mishnah. Peiras aleho sadin mipnei hachama. If you spread a covering, a non-schach covering over the schach to protect the sitter in the sukkah from the sun, or you put a cover under the schach to protect the person sitting in the sukkah from dripping, falling branches, or if you erected a canopy, like they used to have in those days. It was very common to sleep in a bed which has a canopy. A canopy by definition in this case is 4 poles covered by a cloth. Psula, then in all of these cases the sukkah is pasul, is invalid because you're not actually sitting under the schach. But if you sat under a sort of a canopy but it was only draped over 2 poles, so it was more of a curtain that went like this and came to a point where you are lying under the curtain, but you're not lying under a roof that has the width of at least a tefach of at least 1 handbreadth, which is about 10 centimeters, then it's okay. The sukkah is still valid. Have a great day, and a ksiva v'chasima toiva, a good year.